But
hi, welcome to our channel.
I hit dead on with it though. Welcome back. I want to bring you a hopefully a brief video. Just wanted to give you an overview of a rifle that I picked up recently. Well, actually not quite so recently. I picked it up probably about 5 or 6 months ago, and I've just been kind of tinkering with it. I've been kind of using it for a test bed for some different optics, and I've had some problems with some different optics that I just I've been testing on this rifle, and finally got a chance to kind of put it in the configuration that I plan to keep it in. And I just thought I would show it to you. What this is a Remington Model 7. It is chambered in it's got a little bit of pollen on it, you'll notice, because this is springtime in the South. Everything has pollen, but chambered in 308. It's Remington Model 7, chambered in 308. It is a threaded model, which is kind of odd for a Model 7. So you got your standard 5/8 by 24 threads on the end there. And it is what really makes a difference in this unusual Kuiu Vias camo. Hope I'm saying that correctly. So I really like this camo pattern. So my intentions for this rifle is I've always kind of had that quest, I guess you would say, for the perfect lightweight hunting rifle. I've got quite a few of them, and I'm referring to a deer rifle, something that can be find itself really handy in and out of a on and off of a four-wheeler, or in the truck, or brush hunting, or anything like that. I've accomplished it with a lot of different 308s, some 300 blackouts, and different things like that. But this is just another attempt at what I would kind of consider the perfect little lightweight hunting rifle. Anyway, it's got the standard X-Mark trigger. I haven't adjusted mine. It's just as it was out of the box. I have had this gun for quite a while, and I have shot it quite a bit. It breaks at about 3 1/4 pounds, nice and clean. Gun is unloaded. Got a real clean trigger pull. I don't really see any reason on this particular setup to do anything else. Has a very pencil profile barrel. Out of the box, this thing weighed about 5 1/2 pounds, and as you see it configured with everything on it, it weighs just under 7 pounds. So it is extremely light, especially to still be a 308. I mentioned the barrel was threaded. I did at one point run this muzzle brake on it. I believe this is called an S-type. It's just a 2-chamber muzzle brake, and then it's got ports in the top. And it did a good job at reducing the recoil, but I really like the idea of keeping the overall package, the overall length of this thing really short. The length of pull on it, I believe, was 13 inches. So it's kind of in that gray area of what I would consider a youth versus an adult stock. It's definitely, I'm 6'1". It's definitely a little bit on the short side length of pull. But it's kind of something that you have to sacrifice going into it, being that I wanted this to be a little short, lightweight, very easily to be maneuverable hunting rifle. So it's definitely not uncomfortable at all. You just don't see a lot of really info out there about this particular model. I mean, the Model 7 has been around a long time. There's lots of info about it out there, but I'm referring to this threaded Kuiu Vias edition. It's very unusual. There's just not a lot of them out there, and I mean, it's a really nice pattern. I mean, I really like the camo pattern. It's got your standard bottom metal here, so it would load from the top, and it does hold 4 plus 1. Standard safety on the Model 7. But just the way I have it configured, this is how it's going to stay. I've played with the muzzle brakes, and I've decided I'm going to run it without a muzzle brake. It does have a little bit of recoil because it's light. It doesn't really have that much on the shoulder, as much as you just get a lot of muzzle jump because there's just not a lot of weight up here in the front. But, you got to pay to play, and this is a lightweight rifle, and, all the good things about it and the very good handling characteristics of it, you do sacrifice, you get a little bit more jump, but that's just part of it. But all I've really added, I've got a paracord sling. I think I picked this up on eBay. I just thought it matched real nice. I have I mounted it on low rings. It comes factory with this Picatinny rail. But even with, these are Leopold lows, but even with the low rings, it's still, the cheat weld on it wasn't perfect for me. And I am kind of a snob when it comes to a cheat weld. I really like a good cheat weld. I don't want to sacrifice putting my face anywhere. I like, when I lay on the stock, I want to be perfectly aligned with the scope. So what I did to accomplish that, I didn't want it to add much bulk or weight. So this is called a cheek ease. And it is a 1/4 inch pad that is adhesive. You just peel it, you can form it any way you want it onto the stock, and you just peel it off and stick it on. And it has held up. It seems to hold up pretty good. It gave me just that little bit of height that I needed. I think 1/4 inch is the biggest that you can get it in. You might can kind of see how thick it is there. It's very soft, very nice on the cheek, very comfortable. I played around with a couple different options, some strap-on pads and stuff, and they all worked, but this was the most sleek option in my opinion to keep it real light and simple. And I mentioned it has a it has a Picatinny rail from the factory. I added Leopold rings, and the optic that I've had quite a few optics on here, but the one I've decided to keep on here, it weighs 16 ounces, and that was one of the reasons I went with this optic, because it's lightweight, trying to keep the whole rifle pretty light. But it's a Bushnell Elite 4500. You can probably see the 4500 right there. And it is a 2.5 by 10 by 40. And it has the DOA reticle, which I forget what that actually abbreviates, but it has hash marks in the reticle for holdover points. And I don't remember the exact MOA, but they're measured out in MOA. So you can figure out your drop point. It has 1/4 inch adjustments. They're very positive, very good scope, and I really do like this scope a lot, and it's going to be the scope that stays on here going forward. But speaking of the scope, I did at one point have a Leopold Freedom series, which to my understanding is a conjunction between the Vari X1 and Vari X2. They discontinued both of those lines and came out with the Freedom, and I really like that scope. But I was down here, right here, we're on my 100-yard line table today, and I was down here shooting it, and you know, I was pretty satisfied with it. I was really enjoying it. I'd put quite a few rounds through the scope, and I went to make a minor adjustment, and the turret on that particular Leopold had just completely locked up. Long story short, I sent it back to Leopold. They were okay to deal with. It's my first time dealing with their customer service. I've dealt with a lot of customer service with different optics over the years, and I won't say Leopold was the worst, but it wasn't the best. I had to pay for the shipping to ship it back, and which was kind of whatever. I felt like they should have gave me a shipping label just because. Anyway, I shipped it back to them. They fixed the turret, but when I got the scope back, when you would look through the glass, there was obviously debris inside the reticle. So it was almost comical, because I mean, you know, they gave me a piece of paper with it that said that they had inspected it and everything was good, but I guess their inspection didn't include just looking through the scope. So literally the day the scope came in, I had to box it right back up, pay for shipping again, and ship it back to them so they could disassemble the scope and clean the garbage out of it. Long story short, you can see that scope is not on this rifle, and probably the last Leopold I would buy. I've kind of had spotty issues with them in the past, even some of their high up stuff, and I kind of been recently giving them a chance. By recently, I mean the last year or two. And I've got some Leopold scopes, excuse me, on some guns, and I'm going to keep them there, but I won't be buying anymore. But that's enough about that. That's pretty much the rundown of this rifle. I'm going to keep this video as short as I can. I don't really have that much shooting footage of it. I've had this gun, like I said, a pretty good while, about 6 months. And I've been shooting it, you know, extensively. I've had several different optics. I even had a red dot on here at one point that I've just been kind of experimenting with. And this is what I'm gonna stay with. This is the setup. This is how you're gonna see it. The only addition that I still will make, I'll be adding a short action precision 2-round shell holder that will go right here on the side. Since I don't have any other facilities to hold ammo, the gun holds 4+1, but that will allow me to have 2 more cartridges mounted right here for whatever situation. It's not likely that I'll fire that many rounds hunting ever, but if I ever did, you can simply open the action, roll a shell in, and then close it, and then take your next shot. But that's the only other change that I plan on making to it. I just wanted to put this, kind of, straight to the point video out there, because you just don't see a lot on this particular configuration of the Model 7. And then, like I said, the Bushnell 4500 has performed flawless. I have no complaints with this optic. I'm not trying to bash on Leopold, but you know, buy at your own risk, in my opinion. My opinion only. The Bushnell just comes with your scope covers and all that. But anyway, that's about it. I'm actually not going to be shooting this rifle today, even though I'm down here at my range. I'm fishing. I just brought it down here to make the video. I just cleaned it last night and pretty much putting it up now until hunting season, which is quite a while away from me. But I'm just going to put it up until then. I was listening to do some other shooting. I'm actually shooting my Glock 19 MOS with the Holosun. This is the 407C that has the solar panel and the different reticles. Got some AmeriGlow suppressor height sights. I'm using these Men 2 magazines. I've been using them a lot lately. They seem to be pretty great. And yeah, I'm about to do some shooting with that and kind of call it a day. But if you have any questions about any of this setup, just feel free to ask them, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. I'll spin you guys around real quick and show you. We're up here at the 100-yard line today at my range. Got the stars and stripes. So there's the range where you've seen a lot of videos made and shot at and whatnot. But well, that's about it, guys. I appreciate you watching again, and you know, like and subscribe. I'm fixing to get my shots in for the day. You can see I've got it on the dot setting right there. This thing has several reticles, but there's the dot. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm actually about to be doing some shooting from 100 yards up here. Probably mainly shooting at my gong and those red squares on each side of the gong. Long way for a pistol, not very practical, but you know, why not? Anyway, see you next time, guys, and hope this video was helpful. Ask any questions. I know I said that already, but ask any questions that you have, and like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks. That's good.